Hi everybody, welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're going to build a Cessna 310A on the scale 1/72, and I'm going to try that brand called Aircast, who's doing some limited resin editions. So let's open the box and see what we have inside. So initially here is our kit list with all the parts available on that kit. Now this comes with the navy decals, but I will do I'll create my own decals and some civilian decals, as I like to have those. So let's start initially with the main wing, and we can see that this wing is a very nice. I will have to do maybe a little bit of adjustments, bend it in the hot water to get a better surface, as the diagram seems to be quite up, but that's going to be just a very small details to change. Now let's open the fuselage. Okay, so the fuselage, here is our fuselage. So you have like a bathtub where we're going to do all our work. And what we have, all the panel lines are engraved in the resin, in the cask, but it's very thin, it's very light, and very well detailed. So once again I had some bending to do, so I will have to use some very hot water to rebend it on the other side, and everything's going to be back to normal and a perfect shape. Now here is our horizontal stabilizer, and it's very thin. Again, a little bit of bending, but nothing we cannot manage, I guess. But very light and beautiful engravement. So far it's a very nice work. And let's see what we have here. We have the cockpit windows, and we're gonna work on those. And it's a thermoformed, and I have two, so in case I do some misalignments or something goes wrong, I still have a chance to recover. And you also have, of course, like on the other kits, you also have the same, and it has been formed with resin, and you could just basically just put it this way, and then you will add it up, and you have your airplane with tinted windows. But I will try to do like I've been doing so far. I want to give it a try and doing something nice and some details of that interior. So here we have both props, and now we have the gear doors, instrument panel, most probably the nose gear door. We have the two pilot seats, the aft seat, some antennas, the yoke, the undercarriage, the main wheel, both main strut with the wheels, and here's the glare shield, and most probably some more actuator for the undercarriage. So it's a very nice little kit, pretty well detailed. So enough of talking, and let's start building that lovely aircraft. So we're going to start that model by preparing the fuselage. So I will use some sandpaper initially to clean the edges of that model, and then of course I will realize that if there are some gaps to be filled, and like on every model there would be. So after that, what I will do is I will prepare as well some of the interior parts, like the seats, and I will start to glue them. Mainly I will put the control panel with the instruments panel together. Then after that I will put the glare shield, and I will let it dry, let it cure for a little bit. Then I will see how is the clear part going on top. So basically you have like the whole canopy who's going to be part of it, and there will be of course some adjustment to make sure that it fits correctly on the model itself. So for that I use some very sharp scissors, and I will have to do a little bit more of that. So after this, what I will do is I will start to put some putty, and I will start filling up all the gaps on that model and let it dry. While this is drying, I will start to put all the interior of that Cessna 310 together, and then I will let it cure and paint it a little bit later on. So while the interior paint will be drying, I will do some correction on the tail. The tail was bended, so what I do is I use some very hot water boiling out of the kettle, and then I dip the tail, and for about 20 to 30 seconds, then I was able to fold it the other way and make it straight, and then let it cool down, and everything went back to normal. So if you have this type of issue on the model, on the resin model, just think about hot water, dip your parts in boiling water, and then you will be able to get back to the shape you were supposed to have originally. So after completing the interior, we're gonna put the wings to the fuselage. For this I use some super glue, and as it was a little bit difficult, I had to use some clamp as well to be able to get them straight and to stick it really close to the fuselage. After that, we removed it and we had to fill the gaps with some Tamiya putty. So we are going now to close the canopy of that Cessna 310. So we're going to use again some super glue, and I will have to add some more around the edges to make sure that I have a tight seal on that aircraft. Then what I did is I used some masking tape all around the window and the windscreen, and I will have to cut them with a very sharp scalpel blade and do some adjustment, of course. I will do that on all the window of that model to be able to paint them. So we'll be able to see the interior of the aircraft for once, as the 1/72 scale gives you a better idea, and you can reveal more details on the model itself. So for that part, I'll have to use a second layer of putty, as I want to have really a smooth edge on between the canopy and the resin fuselage. So I will have to do also a little bit on the front side, as I had some other gap as well. So once it's going to be dry, I will have to use some sandpaper to get it very smooth at a proper shape. I am now going to paint the stripes in red around the fuselage, and for this I use a mix of a regular X8 Tamiya color and some other color, a brown color, but a very small dip. Then I had to paint the stripes. So for this I use a masking tape of 0.4 millimeters, and as it has a triangular shape, basically I had to use those very small lines, and then of course it grew up toward the end of the aircraft. So after finishing all those stripes, we're gonna put a layer of white paint. Basically I'm gonna use a regular white X2 paint from Tamiya, and I will put it all over the aircraft. So that's gonna require a 2 or 3 times application, as I had to do the tail, the front part, and basically the bottom part of the aircraft. So after that, well, it was time to remove the stripes and the protection and see if all these masking tape was able to give me a proper result. And I have to say that on some parts the whole layer of paint got removed, but we'll do some touch-up later on toward the end of that bit. So, but I have to say that on average I was quite satisfied of that. So as you can see, I'll have to use again a little bit of white paint to do the touch-up on the stripes, and then I will add later on a little bit of red as well. So during the build, there was one thing I did not expect, was that the plane was not balanced well enough on the front. So unfortunately, as you can see, it is sitting on its tail. So for the final touch, what I did is I fixed this story with a little bit of double-side adhesive tape that I put very delicately on the front tire, and that allowed me to have the plane sitting on the front. As you can see, we can see just a little bit the adhesive tape on the picture. So this is the end result of that Cessna 310A on a scale 1/72. And I have to say that I was quite happy with the aircast, as this was the first time I was doing one of their model, and I don't have much experience with this brand. And I hope you enjoyed that build with me. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you soon for another build review and a full build. Thank you for watching.